Dr. Sridhar, who's an expert ergonomics specialist with us today. Welcome, Dr. Sridhar, and it's over to you. Let's get started with the session.
Yeah. So good evening, everybody. I think everybody are safe at home. So thank you for organizing this kind of ergonomic session, even being at home. So we are right now, we are having a session basically on ergonomics, what kind of risks we may get faced, and then what kind of tips, and then what kind of solutions we can get it through. So all about this session. So first, I wanted to discuss about today's sessions is according to ergonomics. This thing is mainly introduction to ergonomics, and the thing is right sitting posture. What is correct posture to sit to do work without any discomforts or without any problems, and then what are all different kinds of problems which we get it in regular day-to-day life in sitting posture for prolonged sitting posture, almost like 6 to 8 hours or 8 to 9 hours. So what are all the different kinds of exercises are to be done to relax the different kinds of muscles, how to do it, and then different kinds of tips to prevent ergonomic risk to discomforts. So when we go to the introduction, so ergon means it's a work, and then nomios means natural laws. So that means the natural laws needs to be followed at workstation, that is called ergonomics, nothing but. So workstation means nothing but right now we are working from home. So that is also even like we call as workstation. So even there also we need to follow different kinds of natural laws to prevent different kinds of strains or back pain or neck pain or elbow pain or shoulder pain. So ergonomics study human is basically it's a study of human capabilities in relationship to the work demands. So what is meant by means, if sitting for those who are sitting for longer time, and then there are different kinds of work demands will be there, like those who sit, those who stand and then doing work, different kinds of work. So according to the work demands, we generally see what kind of things can be done. So in this slide, if you just see, there is a curve in the neck, and then there is a curve in the lower back. So these two curves are very, very important. So I want to discuss about the curves right now. So what is the main importance of the two curves, neck curve and then back curve? If you just see, I think everybody are, visible my video probably. So if you see, this is my hand, which is having like curved like, my hand. So for example, if I'm traveling in a car or bike, whatever the traveling mode, if I'm getting some speed breaker, so when I'm getting onto the speed breaker, if this is the spine, usually it goes like this. That means there is a shock absorber. That means the load is dissipating in a different way, so that the less load is happening on the neck spine and then the low back spine or lower back spine. So when this curve is there, automatically the shock absorber will be more. For example, if we don't have the neck curve or the back curve, if it is straight like this, for example, when I go on to the speed breaker, what will happen? The weight, it comes down like this, and then definitely the weight will be more on the disc, that is nothing but your maybe probably cervical disc or lower back disc. So that's the reason why we need to maintain the curves. Those who are having mechanical neck pain and then mechanical back pain, that means it is work related neck pain and then work related back pain, not that sciatica radiating pain into the arms. So then usually the spine will become straight. If you take an x-ray, then automatically the spine will become straight, so that the load will be more on the neck spine and then cervical. So that's why we generally get more and more neck pain and then back pain mechanically. And then these two curves are basically by birth we don't get these curves. So the neck curve, we generally get it when we generally see this prone head, like we generally look up, lying down on your stomach at the baby, like it comes around three months. The lower back curve will happen when we after birth, when we stand on kneeling, or when we stand on the legs, this curve is going to happen. So if we go through the right sitting posture, what is meant by right sitting posture? So most of the people right now, you people are working at home, so definitely you need to use or follow these kind of rules, which is very important to not getting kind of any strain in the neck and then back. So what exactly? So if you see the monitor distance and then the eye distance should be at least minimum 50 centimeters. That we generally recommend 50 to 100 centimeters distance should be there in between the eyes and then monitor. Actually, this monitor angle, if you just see the inclination of the monitor, actually this is not correct. So actually we need to put it in a plane straight mode actually, but the inclination we should not keep it. But this diagram is showing wrong, so I'm just sorry for that. And if you just see the elbow and shoulder level angle, so it should be 90 degrees. It should be 90 degrees, and then hip and then knee should be also 90 degrees, so that the feet are touching on the floor, so we don't get any lot of load on the lower back, so that the strain will be less on the lower back. And one more very important thing is having backrest, yes, which is very important, because but the recent study says that uh, better not to use the backrest, but we should sit straight, so that our inner muscles will have workload, and then they are getting strengthened inner from inner side, and then they prevent ergonomic risk. So by strengthening our muscles innerly, so that we are strengthening our muscles, that is called postural muscles. So if we don't lean on to the backrest also, but we should maintain the back position correctly. That is very important. But we generally say you can take the support of the backrest, because for example, if people are working for almost 6 to 8 hours of work, prolonged duration, then automatically the every 30 minutes or every 60 minutes we generally say just lean on to the backrest and take some rest, and then you can sit straight or back, and then you do the work. These are all the different kinds of posture which we generally follow at the workstation, or by looking at the laptop, or by looking at the desktop. So the first diagram and then second diagram, if you see, so these in this the neck spine and then cervical spine, that means, and then lower back spine are maintaining properly in this also. But in third and fourth diagrams, the neck spine and then back spine are not correct, so they are not in well position. So that's why the last two diagrams are incorrect. The posture is absolutely wrong. So generally there is a lot of questions while using the mobile phones, so that's why I've taken this slide. This is wonderful and fantastic slide. So generally what I want to say about this slide is, if you just see the 0 degrees of neck when you look at the screen of the mobile or something like that, so if your head is 0 degrees, usually the head weight on the cervical spine is around 10 to 12 lbs, that is around 5.5 kgs of weight on the neck spine. If you just bend 15 degrees and then looking at the mobile, then it is automatically, it becomes 27 lbs, that is almost around uh, 12 kilos, I believe. Yeah, 12 kilos. So 25, yeah, 12 to 13 kilos of weight on the neck spine. If we generally, some of them, they use around 30 degrees of neck bending to see the mobile phone, then it becomes 40 lbs. It is almost 20 kilos of load on the neck spine. If it is 45 degrees, it is around 49. That means almost 50 kilos of lbs. I'm sorry, 50 lbs. That means 25 kilos of weight on the neck spine. If some of them they're almost into the phones, then it is around 60 degrees or 70 degrees. That is around 60 lbs. That means 30 kilos of weight on the neck spine. So these are all the different kinds of weights which is happening in different angles of the head. So that's why we are very careful. We should be very careful while watching the phone, or while texting the phone. So this is wonderful. This is a wonderful slide. So basically, a lot of people, they ask me how we need to sit. A lot of people, they ask me how we need to sit. What is the correct posture? So for example, if you stand or sit in a chair or something like that, then automatically, if you see the first diagram, the ear and then shoulder should be, so the ear and then shoulder should be in the same plane, then automatically the head weight will be 12 lbs, that is around 5.5 kilos on the neck spine. So this is normal posture. When if you just generally while looking at the desktop or laptop, generally we tend to look forward, that is called neck forward posture. So when we keep our neck in 2 inches forward posture, then it is almost 32 lbs. That means 16 kilos of weight on the neck spine. Just imagine, but just for 2 inches forward, it is almost from 5.5 to 16 kilos of weight, it is increasing. So when, if you just see, it is almost like 3 inches forward. If you generally keep your neck in 3 inches forward posture, it becomes 42 elbows, almost for I think 21 kilos of weight on the neck spine. So unknowingly, this kind of weight is happening on the neck spine because of the neck forward posture. That's why a lot of people, they complain of neck pain when forward neck posture is happening continuously for prolonged sitting for 8 to 10 hours of sitting. So before slides, we have seen the almost like neck spine load. What are the different kinds of load is happening in forward posture, like a normal correct posture, and then after 2 inches, after 4 inches, like that. But now, if you look at the disc pressure of the spine in different postures. So this is the major kind of slide which is going to be explaining about the disc pressure, especially in different postures. If we just see first posture, it is called normal lying down on the back. Then it is around 25 kilos of weight on the lower back. That is disc pressure. And then generally a lot of Indian people are side lying people, and then we generally get 75 kilos of weight on the side lying position. So and then standing is 100 kilos of weight. That is, in standing, 100 kilos of weight is happening at the lower lumbar discs. So generally a lot of people, they say, if I'm sitting for longer time, I'm getting back pain, and then standing is comfortable. Yes, of course, the sitting is in sitting, the load is more in sitting. If you just observe the sitting posture, it is 140 kilos. In standing, it is 100 kilos, and then in sitting is 140 kilos. That's the reason why most of the people, they do get back pain if you sit for longer period of 8 to 9 hours in front of the desktop or laptop for prolonged period. And then in standing, and then forward bending, 150 kilos of load on the disc, and then forward bending, standing, forward bending, and then picking up some weight around 5 to 10 kilos, more than 5 to 10 kilos, then it becomes 220 kilos of weight on the lower lumbar disc pressure. And then sitting is 140, sitting and then forward bending, it becomes 185 kilos of load on the lower lumbar disc. And then in sitting and then forward bending and then picking up any weight more than 5 to 10 kilos, the pressure on the disc, that is at the lower back, is around 275, the highest amount of load which is happening here. So we generally don't aware of all these kind of pressures which are happening at the lower back. That's why we need to have a nice picture of this, so that we can understand what kind of load is which is happening in different kinds of postures, so that we can prevent prolonged sitting or prolonged standing or prolonged forward bending and then doing work. So generally a lot of people, they do have different kind of eye strain, that is called nothing but digital strain. So what is meant by digital strain means, digital eye strain is the temporary discomfort that happens because of watching any digital device more than 2 to 3 hours. That's why then it's called digital strain. So for example, what are the digital devices means TV, desktop, laptop, smartphone, or e-readers. Anything is called digital devices. So what are the different symptoms which are happening because of the digital strain? Are redness or irritation of the eyes, blurred vision, dry eyes, and then fatigue, headaches, neck, shoulder, and then back pain. What causes the symptoms? Basically, what is the reason of the symptoms? Why we are getting this kind of symptoms are because one is tired eyes. Why we are getting tired eyes? Our eyes have to constantly focus and then reposition to process information when we use any digital device. So because we need to continuously monitoring the system or laptop or anything like called digital device, we need to focus on the consistently on the screen. So that's why we generally get tired eyes. And then dry eyes. Why do we get dry eyes? Generally, if I blink, generally without looking at any digital device, we generally blink for 18 to 20 number of blinks of eye in a minute. But when using smartphones, any digital device, usually it turns down to almost less than half of it. That means around 9 to 8 it happens. So because of that, dry eyes will happen. And the thing is trained eyes. Normally, as we all know, the digital content is created by thousands of pixels.
Okay.
And viewing of thousands of pixels is because of longer periods. It automatically will give you stress and strain on the eyes. That's the reason why we generally get strained eyes. And then if you see headaches, why this kind of headaches is happening? Because repeated eye strain definitely causes headaches. That's why we do get generally the people will say, I'm just getting some kind of headaches. And then the headaches also will happen because of this eye digital strain. At the same time, because of the neck pain also, some of them they do get headaches. So we need to differentiate between the neck pain and then causing headaches, or eye strain and then causing headaches. That's very important. Otherwise we'll miss. For example, I'm having some kind of headache. If I don't know the differentiation, because is it because of the neck pain which is causing, or is it the strain is happening, that's why I'm getting headache. If for example, if I'm treating some, if I'm keeping some glasses, or and then to prevent any strain on the eye, even then if you're getting pain, then we need to check the neck. If the neck pain is there, if that is causing pain, we need to differentiate. Most of the people, they cannot differentiate, and then they suffer with the headaches. So is it really we should worry about this kind of symptoms? Yes. Why should I worry? So if you just see, why should we worry about this digital eye strain, is generally because 1 in 4 children spend more than 3 hours a day using a digital device. And then 1/3 of adults spend over 9 hours a day using digital device and are very vulnerable to eye strain. That's why we need to worry about it. And then 72.5% of adults are unaware of potential dangers of blue light to eyes. That's the reason we should worry about these kind of symptoms. And what is the solution? If you ask me the solution, we need to follow always 20-20-20 rule. So for example, what is meant by 20 rule means, for every 20 minutes of work, like spending in front of any digital device, you need to take 20 seconds of rest. In that rest period, you need to see 20 feet away object. That is called 20 minutes of for every 20 minutes of time, we need to take 20 seconds of rest. After that, we need to see a 20 feet object. So that is the rule of 20-20-20. And so we need to rehydrate as much as possible. That's why we generally say at least you need to have 4 to 5 liters of water. As madam said, we need to keep some kind of water in front of while doing work, so that you can rehydrate whenever you want. So that is very, very important. And then eat well. So that's very important. Few kinds of foods are definitely preserve your vision, and then including your broccoli, fatty fish, eggs, garlics, and onion. These kind of foods will definitely preserve your vision. So we need to eat well. That's absolutely very important. Beyond this, we need to follow healthy ergonomics at your workstation. So if you use mobile phones, what is the different kind of healthy ergonomics which we need to follow? What kind of healthy ergonomics which we need to follow by using desktop? So these are all the following things which we need to follow healthy ergonomics when using mobile phone are viewing angle slightly below eye level. For example, if this is eye level, so automatically the mobile phone, we generally use it below the eye level. That's very important. The device is comfortably, we have to keep the device comfort with the distance should be maintained in comfortable range. Some of them, they keep phone like this and then they watch or they do work. So that is not at all correct. So comfortable distance in between the eyes and the device should be maintained. And then screen resolution, contrast, and brightness adjusted to eye comfort. Generally, few people, they watch mobile phones with more brightness and resolution also at the same time, which is absolutely wrong. So you need to keep the brightness as you feel like comfortable. The eye should feel comfortable. And then font size and browser settings enlarged for eye comfort. Yes, this is absolutely important. If the font size is very small, or If the font, then it is definitely, it becomes strain for the eyes. So we need to properly keep font size, and then browser settings are analyzed for eye comfort. It's absolutely maintained well. And then if you see the desktop healthy ergonomics, what are all the different desktops for healthy ergonomics means? So overlight light should be dimmed. That means sometimes if the overhead light is not dimmed, then definitely the reflection is happening on the eyes. I mean, at the same time on the keypad. So then it is definitely strain on the eyes. So that is very important to make it overhead lighting should be dimmed. And then viewing angle not more than 35 degrees from monitor. So definitely the angle should be not more than 35 degrees. As I told you, the monitor should be almost straight, but 35 degrees of viewing angle is almost important. And viewing distance is almost like 15 to 100 centimeters should be maintained. Top of monitor at or just below the eye level. Monitor should be positioned flat and directly in front of users. No tilt should be done. And then keyboard position, so upper arms hang vertically. For example, if I am sitting like this, so that means my arm is like vertically hanged. For example, if I'm keeping my keyboard far, so then automatically my hand should be there like that. Then my hand is not vertically down. So most of the strain is happening on my neck and then shoulder related muscles. So at the same time, we need to have proper chair support. We need to have proper chair support, and which helps your body to keep in upright position, which is very important. As I told you, the recent study says that don't take the back support, but we need to sit straight, upright posture. Then automatically your muscles, inner muscles, we generally call as core muscles, will be getting strengthened from inner side. And then after every 20 minutes or 30 minutes, when you feel like you need to lean on the backrest, yes, you can lean onto the backrest, always, which is there. So what are all the different kinds of exercise to prevent distal strain? Means if you just see, so we need to just please follow like me as I'm doing. So just turn your eyes to completely to your right, and then complete to your left. Completely to your right, and then completely to your left. Like that, we need to just move your eyes to right and left for 10 repetitions. Up and down, completely up and then completely down, completely up and then completely down for 10 repetitions. And then oblique, that means completely looking at the left corner down, completely looking at the right corner down, completely looking at the up corner down, completely looking at the left up corner, completely looking at the upright corner. At the same time, clockwise direction of the movement of the eyeballs, at the same time anti-clockwise directions of the eyeballs. Everything you can do it for 10 repetitions, every movement, like up and down for 10 repetitions, left and right for 10 repetitions, and looking at the oblique corners for 10 repetitions, and then clockwise directions, anti-clockwise directions, 10 repetitions can be done. If you just see this slide, the first diagram and then second diagram, I can ask you a question. Both the postures are wrong or both the postures are correct. So if you just comment on the first diagram, if you see the neck spine and then back spine, the curves are not maintaining well. So the first diagram is absolutely wrong. If you see the second diagram, the curves, if you see the neck curve is good and then back curve is good, but at the same time it is being exaggerated. That means extra load is happening on the lower back or neck. So that's why this is not correct. So both the diagrams are not correct. So if you just see the second diagram, the lower back load is more because of exaggerated lumbar lordosis. That's why we should not sit in this posture also. So if we just look at the percentage of different areas of common problems, what we get are first goes to the back, almost like almost lower back, it is around 63% of lower back pain which can come, and then 53% of neck pain can come, and then 38% of shoulder problems can come, and then 33% of wrist problems can come. So what are the different tips to prevent having a ergonomic risk at the workstation? So before any activity, generally what we generally recommend is for any sports, before you start any game, generally we generally do warm up and then stretches before any activity. So working station is also one activity because you are doing almost for prolonged hours, almost 6 to 8 hours or 9 hours or 10 hours. So this is also one activity. That's why you need some kind of warm up or stretches before activity or before starting up your work every day. So take a frequent breaks from any sustained posture. Like if you are in sitting posture for longer time, or if you are standing in standing posture for longer time, any sustained posture, if you are maintaining, then for every 30 to 60 minutes, you have to have a break. For example, if you're sitting for longer time, then take a break after 30 minutes, just have a small walk and then come back and sit. And adopting proper sitting posture is also very important. Otherwise different kinds of load is happening in neck and the lower back, which causes mechanical neck pain or which causes mechanical back pain. Recognize early signs of inflammatory process and then consult ergonomics early. That means a recognition of early signs of inflammatory process is very important. I'll just briefly tell you about how to recognize yourself whether you're having some kind of problem or pain in the neck pain or back pain. So first we need to just check, for example, I'm having some right side neck pain. First we need to see the range of movement. Any problem, for example, right side my neck is paining, for example, this side or this side. So definitely it is going to be affecting your range of movement. So for that, first we need to check, turn your head onto the right completely, turn your head onto the left completely. Now if you check, one side definitely will be less. That means the other side is painful. For example, my right side is tight and then it is painful. If I turn my head onto your left, then automatically I can't do as of my like on the right side. So it will be less in the range of movement. So that means we need to be working on the right side. Even though if some of them they don't have symptoms, but the muscles can be tight. That's why these every like weekly once you can check by yourself by looking at the range of movement of the neck. So now if you just look up and then look down, if I'm looking down, sometimes I feel like some tightness in the below the neck of the area. That means those muscles are tight. So that's why we need to check our range of movement quite frequently, weekly once, so that without symptoms also the muscles spasms can happen that will create neck pain or something like that. So this is how we can find out one kind of inflammatory process. Another thing is palpating. So palpating means, for example, I'm having some pain on the right side of my neck, or here or here. Then if you press with your left hand firmly and then press it firmly, and then you can see whether you have some pain this right side. At the same time, do it on the left side. So if you just check on both the sides, if you are having, for example, as I'm having a right side neck pain, for example. So if I press here, I'm having some pain. If I press here, I'm not having some pain. So obviously there is a muscle spasm in the right side. So this is how we can find out whether I'm having some problem or not. So there are simple warm-ups and stretches. I want to demonstrate few stretches for you. So this is called elbow pump. If you just see the diagram, so take your hand like this, hold it, and then try to do up as much as you can, and then completely down as much as you can, up and completely down. Like this, we need to do repeat for at least for 10 repetitions. So this will increase the blood circulation for your arm and then for your neck. So simple one thing is I don't know posture. For example, if you just see the I don't know posture, like generally we generally say like this, but I recommend you to do gently up as much as you can. Once you reach there and then go coming down gently and then going up gently, coming down. This is also for 10 repetitions. You can do it just in front of the desktop. There is no equipment required, nothing is required. So another one is neck breaker. As I told you, right side, for example, this muscle is tight. So keep your right hand, for example, I'm having on the right side, keep your right hand and then hold it with the left hand and try to gently pull it. So here what is important is we need to understand if our pain is mild to moderate or severe. For example, for severe people, we don't suggest this kind of neck breaker exercise because it will aggravate the pain. Those who are like, comes under mild to moderate having neck pain or neck spasm, those people can do this kind of exercise. Gently you can do, and then you can go till the bearable pain limit. And don't go into the unbearable pain limit always. So this is called one arm. There is, before going to tell this kind of stretch, I want to tell you that there is a close relation between the neck and then shoulder. For example, I'm having some neck pain. Definitely, you can expect some kind of problem in the shoulder. If I'm having some problem in the right shoulder, definitely I can expect some kind of problem in the neck in the future. So that's why always it's better to have some kind of stretches, including, involving the shoulder is also very important, especially for the neck pain. So this is called one arm hug. So keep your one hand here and then try to stretch as much as you can. If you just see this kind of exercise, so this entire posterior capsule is getting stretched. So this is very important, and stay for 10 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then relax. This is how we need to do this exercise, one arm hug. This is called simple bobble head. So generally we generally say no. So I wanted to say prolonged no. So from left, from the right, extreme right, and then go to extreme left. And once again repeat the same thing for 10 repetitions. This will increase the, this will prevent the muscle spasm and increase the range of movement. So now the previous slides, I think shown about you all the neck exercises and how to do it, different kinds of stretches. Now we are moving on to the low back exercises. What are the different stretching exercises which can be done for the low back? Example, most of the people, especially those who sit for longer time, like for example 8 to 10 hours, definitely they do have tight hamstrings. So if we just see the third picture, generally people they do a lot of exercises related hamstring stretches, but this is an ultimate stretching exercise for the hamstrings in an ergonomical way, because if you see this third diagram, the person is lying down, the entire spine is having proper support. So just holding with the two hands, locking your fingers, and then just raise your lower leg up, and then so that you can feel that hamstring tightness. You can feel that hamstring stretching which is happening at. And then if you see the second diagram, that is called for the rotators of your lower back. For example, this is area where the lower back rotators will be there. If you just try to touch your both the legs on the right side, for example, that means your left rotators are absolutely fine. If both the legs are touching on the left side, that means your right rotators are absolutely fine. If, for example, my right legs are not touching my floor, like not touching the floor, then my left rotators are in trouble. So we need to stretch that properly as I shown this figure. So the first exercise is for lateral flexors of the lower back. So stand, take a support of hand and stand like this, and try to push the pelvis towards the wall. That's absolutely will give you a proper stretch on the back flexors, lateral flexors of your back. So for example, the distance between the wall and then this is left side, for example, he's doing. The distance between the wall and then hip is around, for example, 50 centimeters on the left, for example. On the right side, if you do it, if you are getting 5 centimeters. So most, the distance in which side the distance is more, that means left side is 50 centimeters, right side is 5 centimeters. That means the left flexors are tight. That's how we need to check your, you can check your lower back muscles, which are prone for, which if they are tight, definitely you can expect some pain in the back. And then posture correction for kids. This is especially very important for the kids. Generally, they are not aware of posture, what is also, even they cannot get this kind of, what is meant by posture and how we need to sit. They really don't get. So 3 simple exercises can be done to maintain proper posture in the kids. That is called wall alignment break, and there is spend some time in walking with anatomical position. That means walking anatomical position is very important for the kids, and then backward shoulder rolls. what are all these, for example? So this is called wall alignment. For example, if you have given one mobile phone to your kid, by keeping like in a half an hour or 1 hour time period. So for every 15 minutes, if you just keep an alarm, at that once the alarm is ringing, then he should stand onto the wall, and then as shown in the figure, that is called wall alignment, which is very, very important. And the thing is walking with the palms facing forward and maintain eye gaze little above the horizon. So this is how walking anatomical position for the kids. So we need to remember every time, like if they are walking in a slouch pose or something like that, we need to just remember them walk in an anatomical position, that always maintain the posture in a proper way. So this is called shoulder rolls. So shoulder rolls is nothing but, so ask the kid to do backward like this rolls. This is called shoulder rolls backwards. So nowadays, anyway, the schools are closed. So definitely we need to tell them the bag should not be carried on one side. They should carry bag on both the sides so that the weight is dissipating on both the sides. So I generally recommend A to AHA, means we generally don't recommend move ointment, but I generally recommend to move yourself. That means nothing but exercise. So we don't prescribe you move, but we advise you to move. That is nothing but exercise. So exercise, if you do exercise regularly, automatically the range of movement will be maintained well, and then you don't get any muscle spasms, so that you don't have any problems like neck pain, back pain, so that you don't require move ointment. So for that, exercise are very important. Some motivation is required, so always you keep some motivation to do the exercises. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share this kind of ergonomic session with you people. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sridhar. That was very insightful. And I think all the do's and don'ts and tips that you've given us will really help us work better from home and stay fit and away from all the pains. I now invite all of you to pour in your questions, and we'll have them addressed with Dr. Sridhar. Any questions, please? You can use your chat bot, or you can unmute yourself and also ask if you want to do so. Otherwise, we can use the chat bot, and then we can address the questions one by one. Okay, there is a question from Sachin Bhagat that says, recently, a month back, I started facing problem of interscapular pain due to my right hand shoulder movement became limited. Most of the time it pains. Please suggest exercise for it and tablet in case you can suggest.
Right now showing the exercise is a bit difficult, but whatever the possibilities I can show you. So usually for interscapular pain, this is actually the main problem. This posterior capsule will be tight, so you can keep your hand. I don't know whether you will be able to do this or not. If you're not getting this kind of range, then definitely you need to meet any physio nearby, so or any doctor to have some medication. So you need to pull like this, then definitely this entire stretch is happening here at the same time. This area, this is called interscapular area, so you have to pull it as much as you can. And then I recommend any Volini ointment or something like that. You can just apply it over there and wait for 5 minutes. On top of it, apply hot pack at least for 10 to 15 minutes for 3 times a day, at least for 4 to 5 days. Then automatically the pain will come down.
Sachin, I hope that addresses your question. As Dr. Sridhar said, please do that. If you still face problem, then you need to visit a physiotherapist, right, Dr. Sridhar?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Yes. So let's take the next question now, which is from Lakshmi Samal. Now she says, I get pain on my lower back when I sit on floor. Can you advise something for that, Dr. Sridhar?
Yeah, especially while sitting on the floor, if you're getting lower back pain, that is either your lower back is the joints are not opening properly, or your hamstrings are tight, or your piriformis is tight. So for hamstring stretch, as I shown you in the one of the slides, the third diagram in that, you can do the hamstring stretch, or you can just Google it piriformis stretch. So that if you just do it, so you won't get pain while sitting on the floor. At the same time, you should do some flexibility exercise for the lower back, which are very important.
All right. Now moving on to question of Sri Krishna.
Yeah.
He's asking, in fact, please suggest the suitable exercise for cervical spine pain.
Cervical spine pain. So may I know the severity of the pain?
Sri Krishna, if you can unmute yourself, please. And
not so severe, but
Okay.
sometimes I get pain.
Right.
Earlier it was there, but I get treatment and now it is quite okay.
Am I visible to you, sir?
Yeah, yes.
So here, do you have pain, or on the right or left? Here or here?
Left side.
Left side here.
Yeah.
Here?
Yes.
Okay. So what you can do is simply one stretch, as I told you, keep your one hand like this. Okay. Got it?
Yeah.
And then stretch gently to the other side.
I got it.
Okay, that is one stretch. And then just move your head to, I mean, your pain is on the left, right? So move your head to the right once, and then check the movement on the right and left. Which side is lesser?
Left side.
When you're turning onto the
On
left
side it is less.
left side it is less, or right side it is lesser?
Left side it is less. Right side, sorry. Right side it is less, and right side it is more.
Your problem is left side, so right side will be difficult. So what you can do is gently you can push it like that. Keep the same hand here, and then gently you can push it to the other side, and then keep hot pack at least for 3 to 4 times in a day. For 2 to 3 times, for 2 to 3 days, automatically the pain will come down, sir.
Please come again.
Sorry, sir.
I not hear you properly. Please come again. I'm not hear you properly.
You have to keep hot pack, sir. Hot pack 3 to 4 times in a day,
Okay.
for 4 to 5 days.
Okay.
Here, then automatically the pain will come down.
Yeah, does that address your question, Sri Krishna?
Yeah. Yes.
And then one more thing you can do is chin tuck exercise, like lying down and then do the chin tuck exercise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you. Let's quickly move to the next question, Dr. Sridhar. It's from Alka Mehta. And she says, as my usage on laptop has been more due to school PPT, video presentations, kindly advise. Alka, what is it that you want to be advised about? Can you unmute yourself?
Hello, good evening.
Hi, sir. Hi, ma'am.
I've recently started having pain from my left elbow to the wrist.
Okay. Left elbow to the wrist. Okay. Can you look at my elbow? This is the pain area.
Yeah.
So that is called tennis elbow, ma'am. Probably you are working more at home. So like, now the maids are not coming. So probably you are working more. That causes the pain.
Yes, sir. True.
Yeah.
Very true, sir.
Yes, absolutely. So what you can do is simply do this stretch.
Okay.
Is this visible?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just straighten your, for example, it's right arm, for example. So straighten the elbow and then gently stretch it like that.
Okay.
Gently you have to do it. If you are getting more pain, then you will curse me.
Okay.
Okay. So you have to do it very gentle. Okay. And then don't cross the unbearable limit.
Okay. Right.
So you just go to the bearable limit and come back. So you just do it like that and reach the bearable limit and then leave it. At the same time, hot pack. If the pain is too much, for example, out of 10, if it is 9, then you can go with the ice pack.
Okay.
Or if it is 5 or 6, then you can go with the hot pack. So before that, you
if
can
it is 5 and 6, I can go with the hot pack.
Hot pack. So just apply any ointment over here.
Okay.
And then wait for 5 minutes so that it absorbs into the body. After that, you apply hot pack at least for 10 to 15 minutes, 3 times a day.
Okay.
This stretch is very important.
Okay. Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Most welcome.
Okay, Alka, I hope that addresses. Please remember to go gentle with your exercise. Yeah. The next question is from Umesh Singh. Umesh is asking, blue light is not good for the eyes from laptop or mobile. If
Yes.
it is, why IT company not change the color which is good for eyes? Or how can we change the default color? Please suggest. I don't know if it is in this context. Dr. Sridhar can say something, but if you have something to say.
I think usually what we can do is we can use some spectacles, like, which blue rays. That's it. What I can tell you.
Yeah, some anti-glare specs, or the specs can cut this light out. Umesh, that's the advice. I hope you get that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There's another question from Sachin again. He says, intrascapular plane occurs due to wrong sitting posture or any other reason. Precautions to be taken so that it will not reoccur.
Can you just repeat the question, ma'am?
Yeah. Intrascapular pain. Sachin, we started the question with him, you remember? So he's asking another question. He says, intrascapular pain occurs due to wrong position, sitting posture, or any other reason. He's asking the reason of intrascapular pain, if I'm not wrong here. And he's also asking us to suggest some precautions so that it doesn't reoccur.
Yeah, because sometimes nowadays we are at home, so if you play any shuttle, badminton, something like that, so even that also causes pain in the interscapular regions. If you lift any weights, that also can pick up the pain. Or if you do kind of if you're not lying down properly, that also pick up this kind of pain. And then forward neck posture will or slouched posture like this. Generally we sit like this. Even that also causes interscapular pain. So that actually has to be released. Interscapular pain, generally we call fascial manipulation or trigger release. I think you know, right? So that can be done so that the interscapular pain will come down, and then same hot pack 3 times a day for at least 4 to 5 days. So the posture should be maintained, and then scapular muscle strengthening is very important. So to prevent it actually.
Okay. All right. Sachin, I think that answers your questions. Yeah, I think it does. Okay. Thank you so much, all of you. I think last question we can take in. If anybody has any one question to ask, I can take in that. And after which we'll close this session. Any other question anyone wants to ask? Yeah. Then I think we are done with all the questions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of these series of well-being events that Ethica Work Life is sponsoring and conducting for you. I hope this will be very useful. Thank you, Sridhar. This was once again your inputs, your advice was very, very insightful, and I'm sure very practical as well. So we'll use that and make the whole process of working from home a little more easier and fun. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. We'll look forward to having you with us in the next session.